Hi guys, it's April. I figured I'd start off the new year by doing a video of recommendations because we're all in that weird place where we're restarting reading goals. We're realizing whether or not we want to shift our reading style a certain direction or not. So I figured I'd give a recommendation video on books that I oddly don't have a lot of. This video is actually inspired by Monthly Recommendations group. I will leave all the information down below in case you would like to join the group or if you would like to find more recommendations. I highly recommend it. And this month's topic is historical fiction. As I was perusing through my shelf, I realized that most of my historical fiction is actually slanted towards supernatural. A lot. Like, a lot. So when I was pulling books, I started to get really concerned and then I wanted to challenge myself. What if I just did plain historical fiction without the supernatural? And then things got really complicated really fast, and that's when I realized that I haven't kept a lot of the historical fiction that I read, which means I haven't really connected a lot with the historical fiction that I read. And then there goes that huge weird bubble of what is technically considered historical fiction, and that was a rabbit hole that I decided I didn't want to go down. But I managed to find a decent amount of books that I want to recommend to you guys in case you were looking for historical fiction. The first recommendation that I want to mention is actually an author, and that is Eva Ibbotson. She has this whole collection of historical fictions that I really like, and the one that stuck with me the most, this takes place leading up to World War II. You've got Ellen, who decides to take a job at an Austrian boarding school, and then there's this possibility of war looming overhead, so she's dealing with all of these children, learning what it means to work at this school, and then this imposing threat. All of these historical fictions by Ibbotson have a romance in them. And I really like how Ibbotson does historical romances, so I wanted to recommend all of these books to you guys. Because I mean, really, if you're looking for something that's fluffy but historical, these right here. And in the same path of war, I've got The Things They Carry by Tim O'Brien. This was a heart-wrenching read. So heart-wrenching. It follows several soldiers as they go on through the Vietnam War, and it flashes back and forth, so things aren't quite in sequence, and it almost feels like what they could be going through when dealing with the aftermath of all of this, where things are just disjointed and you just feel all the baggage that they carry with them because of this war and what they saw and everything. It's hard. I didn't know if I wanted to read this. I actually ended up reading this for an honors class, and I am so glad I did because it's one of those books that has stuck with me, obviously, for a very long time since I'm recommending it to you guys. But remember, you might want to have a box of tissues with you when you read this one. And the last book I want to recommend, yes, this is a very short recommendation list because, like I said, I looked at my bookshelf and realized there wasn't a whole lot there that was just historical fiction. So yeah, the last one I want to do is Vengeance Row by Erin Bauman. It is a Wild West vengeance story. Obviously, it is the story of Kate as she tries to track down her father's killer and get back because it's going to give her closure, or so she thinks. On her journey to this vengeance, she starts to evaluate what all of this means and what her future could look like and what she really wants out of her quest for vengeance. So that was my really short list of recommendations for all of you guys. I'm probably gonna think of several others after I turn off this camera and as I'm editing this video, but this is life. And if I ever think of more, I'll probably do a part 2. What is your favorite historical fiction read? Because I obviously need recommendations for what I need to pick up in this category. I heart you beautiful faces. Bye.